Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Rozindan, and I'm an English education student from Jambi University with student number A1B221044. And in this video, I would like to present about what I have learned from the reference that I chose. And today we are going to talk about assessment. So the reference that I chose, actually there are several references that I chose. Those are a video on YouTube. The title is Assessment in Language Teaching by Hassan Eid Bouzid, and also I took references from blog and website. Those are from wartaguru.id and also gurubelajar.id and also quipperblog.com. So in this video, we are going to talk about the assessment. I will talk about the assessment in general that from the references that I have learned and chose, and I accumulate the knowledge into this video. Now, first of all, we are going to talk about the definition of assessment. So what is assessment? Assessment is the process of measurement by the teacher and also by the school or the institution to know the capability, the ability of the students along the process of the study. And also assessment is the process of diagnosing the students' ability along the learning and teaching process. From assessment, we can know how far is our students have learned the material that we have given, and how far is their ability to process the knowledge or the material that have been given. And now we move on to the types of assessment. So actually, assessment has several types here. One of the types are informal and formal assessment. Informal assessment is usually done by the teacher. Assessment is indirect feedback when the student or the teacher doing the learning and teaching process. When the student have a mistake or an error in their language, the teacher will directly give the feedback and fix their error. This is considered as informal assessment. So the teacher directly just fix the students and directly just give the feedback. And another example of the informal assessment is when the students or when the teacher giving each other questions and discuss about it. For example, when they talk about a topic and then there's something that the students cannot understand or hardly to understand, and the students decided to ask the teacher, it can consider as an informal feedback, so the teacher can directly give the feedback and assess the student's ability to know, to measure how far or how much their ability in that material at the moment. And then what is formal assessment? Formal assessment, usually we know formal assessment just like daily assessment, or in Indonesia we know ulangan harian. And also there are quizzes, homework, group presentation, group projects, paper, individual paper that they have to collect to the teacher. And also it's like a class discussion. It is actually considered as formal assessment. So formal assessment is procedure that the student have to follow to complete the assessment. The formal assessment usually is held by the teacher and also by the school as well. And another type of assessment, there are summative and formative. So what is summative assessment actually? Summative assessment is an assessment that is held at the end of the semester, at the end of the teaching learning process. The purpose of summative assessment is to measure and to diagnose how much the ability of the students of the material that they have learned along the semester. So summative assessment is held at the end of the semester. It is to accumulate and to diagnose how much the students' ability of the material in this semester. And what is formative assessment? Formative assessment is a assessment that is held continuously. It's usually just like ulangan harian. Ulangan harian is also considered as formative assessment because it is assessed in the middle of the process of the teaching and learning process, and it is continuously held. For example, it can be the formative or ulangan harian can be held in the middle of the semester, 1/4 of the semester, so it is continuously. There are also peer assessment and self-assessment. So what is peer assessment? Peer assessment is the assessment that is held by one student to another student. So each student assess their own friends. It's usually is held when they have done a group project or a group assignment. So in the peer assessment, one student can assess how much their friends contribute on the project or on the assignment. The peer assessment train the students to observe their friends, and also peer assessment help the students to stimulate their brain to give a judgment to their friends. And what is self-assessment? Self-assessment is the assessment that is held by your own self. So you decided, so you can decide what have you learned, what have you done in this semester, and with the material that you have learned. And also, in the assessment, there are several principles that we have to concern. First principle is validity. Validity is the extent to which a test measures what it claims to measure. And validity is divided into three validity. One is content validity. Content validity means that the assessment, the content of the test is related to the content of the course. So when we assess our student, we have to concern that the content of the test is related to the content of the course. And also the second validity is construct validity. It means that the test is based on the theoretical background. And also the third is consequential validity. It means that the consequences of a test is effect on the learners and their socio-economic environment. And the second principle is reliability. It means that the extent to which assessment is consistent and dependable. Reliability divided into four. The first one is student-related reliability. It is the factors that can affect student score, for example, sickness, anxiety, and etc. The second one is rate reliability. It means that the score should not differ from one rater to another. It means, or another way to say that, clear scoring criteria. And also, the third reliability principle is administration reliability. It means that the number of students per room, noise, light, and quality of the copies. We have to concern about this as well. And the last is test reliability. It means that the clarity of instruction and questions. So when we construct the task or the assessment, we have to concern about the clarity of instruction and question as well, so that it's not confused, it's not make the students confused. And also the third principle is practicality. It is the extent to which logistics and management of the assessment are appropriate. Or in another way, we can say that it must be easy to score, appropriate timing, doesn't require using unconventional tools, and easy to administer. And then there is authenticity. The fourth principle, authenticity, means that and also there is authenticity. Authenticity determined by two factors. One is the extent to which exam activities, tasks, and exercises are similar to real-world tasks. And then the second one is the extent to which the language used in the task is similar to the language used in the real world. And also the last principle is WASPEC. WASPEC is actually part of the consequential validity. It means that how learners prepare for a task. There are two WASPECs. positive feedbacks and negative feedback. What is positive feedback? Positive feedback means encourage learners, provides feedback on errors, gives constructive criticism. And what is negative feedback? Negative feedback is detrimental to learning, causes stress, anxiety to students before the test. Students study mainly to the test only, and the teacher teach mainly to the test. And it's not a good feedback. So those are 5 principles that we have to concern when we do the assessment to the students. And in Merdeka Curriculum, based on the reference that I have read, we have to concern about their attitude along the process of the learning and study, and we have to make sure that the student have a good profile pelajar Pancasila. And that's all the material that I can deliver from the references that I chose. Thank you so much.